Hey everybody, welcome to 90% Knitting. This is episode 351. Today is Tuesday, November 24th, and I am Lisa, also known as fibernymph. I did those out of order, but we don't care. It is a Tuesday, and I am out here in the porch room, which is also my hubby's office, which is why I'm surrounded by his paperwork, which I didn't even try to camouflage or move because it's everywhere. But he took today off as a vacation day, and I'm bumping the camera. Let me try to move the table a little bit. He took a vacation day today and is working on one of his motorcycle restoration projects, and so I decided to take my opportunity to sit out here and talk to you guys. So thank you for coming and joining me for probably about an hour because I've got a lot to talk about. And I've started this multiple times and had to stop because I was like blathering on about stuff you don't really care about. And thankfully it is an overcast day today, so hopefully we won't have weird sunshine coming in making my face go like that. Because that's pleasant, isn't it? I have tea that is now half gone and also getting to that lukewarm phase. It's more Plum Deluxe tea. This one is vanilla sugar cookie dessert tea. It's very good. It's a rooibos based tea, which I love. And it does have vanilla in it. I think it also has cinnamon chips and fennel seed, which is interesting. Maybe ginger, I don't remember now. But it's a very mild flavored tea. I kind of like it. It's one that I can always afford to put like a little bit more, like more of a heaping teaspoon into the basket than just a smaller teaspoon. The black teas I tend to do a little less. But this one's really tasty, and I added a little honey, so I am enjoying it muchly. And before we get into anything else, I will tell you what I'm wearing. This shawl is, here, let me show you. It's called the Arcadian shawl, and the designer is Kristen, Hanley, Cardozo. I made this back in June of 2011 as part of Camp Loopy. I used to take part in Camp Loopy a lot. I haven't done it in years. Matter of fact, that might have been the last time I did it. But this was a Camp Loopy project. It was knit using Mad Tosh Vintage, which this may be the only project I have ever knit out of any Madeline Tosh yarn. But the black was called Victorian Gothic, and the purple is called Briar. And it's a really nice, cozy shawl. I've never worn it very much. I mean, like I said, I finished it 9 years ago, and I think the reason I did it was because I needed a project that used a certain amount of yarn. I think maybe 600 yards of yarn or something. But at that time, that was back when small shawlettes were all the rage. Like everybody was designing small shawls. And that's what I was knitting a ton of back then. And I wore those more. These bigger shawls, I don't think I really knew what to do with. And I didn't really wrap up in them very much like this in the colder months. I don't know why. But I found this in my knitwear stash a while back, and I pulled it out, and I thought, this is a really nice shawl, because I love big shawls now. And I've been wrapping up in it. I wore it yesterday over my Hero cardigan as a, like I did it bandana style, so it was all big and bulky around my neck. I was out running some errands, and it felt really good, so I'm looking forward to getting some use out of this. I just went through and I rotated some of my knitwear that I don't wear very often, you know, like shawls and accessories and things, and I'm going to try to remember to do that periodically throughout the winter this year, because I have so much knitted stuff that I put time and expense into, and I really don't get as much wear out of it. So I think this year I'm going to make a concentrated effort to change that and get more wear out of my knitwear. Matter of fact, I did the same thing with my sock drawer. I have my sock drawer, which was stuffed full, as well as a basket that I keep on the top of my my wardrobe, and it has socks in it, and I went through everything. I took them all out and I weeded through them. There were a few pairs that were very old and had some holes wearing in them. I took those out completely. I had a couple other pair that I don't wear because they're a little too small on me, so I decided I'll send those to my mom. She can get some use out of those. And then I went through the rest of them, and I put a bunch of them away. I put them into a bin, and I just left out the ones that are my holiday colorway socks and others that are more, this time of year colors. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but like the deeper colors. And I left those out, and so I'm going to wear those for now, and then I think maybe like at the beginning of January, I'll go through them again and rotate some other socks in and put some other ones away, just so I can wear my socks more, because I literally had over 40 pairs of hand knit socks that I've knit over the years that are still in my, rotation. And I want to get more wear out of them. I tend to wear the same pairs all the time because I wear them and then I wash them and then they go back in the drawer on top of everything else, and I don't dig through them, So anyway, that's my goal for this winter, is to actually rotate through my knitwear and get more use out of it. So, let's see. Shall we get into the podcast stuff? Oh, first, what I want to tell you, it is Thanksgiving week here in the U.S., so happy Thanksgiving, celebrating to anyone who is doing that. Please be safe. We are going to be very small, very quiet, just Bill and I and Emma. She actually has to work on Thanksgiving, so we're going to have our dinner the day before. It's not going to be anything big because Emma and I don't eat meat, so I'm not making a turkey. Bill said he would have been happy with a hamburger. He doesn't really care what we have, so I'm going to make him, I thought maybe I'd make him like chicken cordon bleu, something different, because I don't make that very often. He might enjoy that. Yeah, is there Swiss cheese in chicken cordon bleu? Because if there is, I'll have to use something else, because he does not like Swiss cheese. Anyway, I bought a tofurkey for Emma and I, because I've never had one. I thought I'd give it a try. So we'll have that, and I'm making a cheesecake, the traditional Thanksgiving cheesecake, because we all love cheesecake. And while we like pumpkin pie, we love cheesecake. So it's just us, why not, right? Okay, so that's happening, but I just wanted to let you know about other stuff that is happening shop-wise this week, so that if you're not going to stick around for all of the shop news at the end of the podcast, I'll just give you the heads up now. Well, one, I was going to say I restocked Sugarplum today because it sold out really quick during the update last week, but honestly, it went in the shop today, and it, again, everything sold out except I think right before I started there was like one skein of worsted weight left. So it's kind of too late for me to tell you that, but it did restock. I promised that I would restock it, and I did. There will be more of it in my first December update, so you can know that. But anyway, this week I'm going to be offering free shipping Friday through Monday on any order. It doesn't have to have the $50 minimum. So any U.S. order of any amount will get free shipping for those 4 days. And then on Saturday, which is Small Business Saturday, I'm doing a sale just that day. It'll be a Small Business Saturday sale, 20% off using the coupon code SHOPSMALL20. And so that'll be good from midnight Eastern, my time on Saturday, all the way to, 11:59 p.m. Saturday. And then on Monday, which will be Cyber Monday, I'm going to be offering a whole bunch of specials on Monday. You won't need a coupon code for them. They'll already be discounted as they're being offered in the shop, but there'll be things that aren't in there right now. So you might want to check back on that. I will send out another newsletter. I sent one out last night letting you guys know about all this stuff, but I will send out a specific one on Sunday letting you know about the Cyber Monday specials. So anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up about that. I will talk more about that at the beginning of the shop news segment later on into the podcast. But for right now, let's get into the 90% part of the podcast, and I wanted to start by revealing the winner of the episode 350 drawing that I did last episode. I had told you that to celebrate my 350th episode, I wanted to do a drawing for this skein of my cozy worsted weight base in the deep fall colorway with this fun pom-pom that goes with it, the faux fur pom-pom. And there will be an assortment of extras going with this. So right before I started recording, well, when I started recording originally today, which was about an hour and a half ago, I went in and I did a random, it's called commentpicker.com, that will do comment picking, obviously, from YouTube videos. And so there were 76 comments on the episode 350 video, and the comment picker chose the entry by Susan McDermott. So Susan, congratulations. The prompt that I asked for was to tell me something that you were thankful for. And Susan said, I'm thankful for our good health at ages 81 and 70. Also for our wonderful children and grandchildren who are also staying healthy in this pandemic. And I think that's lovely. I was blown away by how many people commented very similar things, you know, either being thankful for health during the pandemic or for jobs during the pandemic and being able to handle the financial burden during the pandemic. It struck me. I mean, it's just how much this pandemic has impacted our lives in so many ways, and that was on so many people's minds. I did not reply to anybody's comment from last episode because I didn't know if that would mess up the comment picker. I now know that I could have just had it not pay attention to replies to the original comments, but I didn't know that then. So I'm going to try to go back in and comment. If you left a comment, I'm going to try to reply to your comment now after the fact. But if you didn't get a reply, that's why. But thank you, all 76 of you, for replying to that. I really appreciate that. And Susan, when you hear this, please email me, fibernymph@gmail.com, and let me know your mailing information so that I can get your prize out to you. So thank you so very much, everyone. And I am very thankful for all of you guys. I don't want to sit here and talk to myself, so I'm thankful that you guys tune in, whether you do it weekly or just every once in a while. It's great. I'm so happy to have you guys here. And I love reading comments, so please feel free to comment on the YouTube channel, like in the comments. That's a great place for me to hear from you. Let's get into the knitting. I have a couple finished objects. And the first one, and again, I forgot to bring a sock blocker in. I finished my pair of shorty socks out of my Traveler sport weight base in the Shepherd's Pie colorway. So they are finished now, and I haven't worn them yet, and I didn't include them in my drawer yet, but they are going into my drawer because I don't have a lot of shorty socks. I have far more like just normal, socks with 6 to 7 inch cuffs than these shorter socks. I like these a lot especially this time of year. I don't know. It's not like I wear them in the middle of summer anyway, but I'm happy to be able to wear these now. Another pair of shorter socks. These were knit on US 1.5s. It was just a standard, plain vanilla sock, slip stitch heel and gusset. So finished socks. The other project that I finished was my Rio Calina cowl. Now, it's finished, and I used all of the yarn, like down to the last, 2 feet, and then I used most of that to do the seaming that you had to do. So this is the pattern that I told you about last time. It is by, the name, Cat Bordhi. I knew the cat part. I was blanking on Bordhi. The Cat Bordhi pattern is a free pattern on her website, and it's where you were just doing the random cables, however and whenever you want. Not however, you had to do them in a certain way for it to work out, but you could put them in wherever you wanted. So here it is. If I hold it that way, you can see. Somebody said it looked like tree bark, and I hadn't thought about that, but you're right, it does have that kind of a look. I was a little worried that I was going to run out of yarn before I made it long enough to be able to do the folding the way you needed to, but I didn't. I ended up with actually an extra inch, which was very exciting. Although it's done now, and I did seam it, I did not weave in my ends yet because I'm actually not 100% sure I love it as something to wear. It's interesting. I'm going to try it on for you. Okay, so this is how it sits. And I mean, it's just sort of overlapped. Mine comes together a little oddly up here compared to what it looks like on the one on her project page or her pattern page. I don't know. I don't know how much you can see this because it is a darker color, but I don't know. I mean, it's bulky and it'll definitely be warm. Now, it's not super close. Like I've got a couple inches there where it's not right up against my neck, but if I had it on under a coat or under something else, it would definitely snug up. I don't know. I'm just not 100% sold on how much use I will get out of this. It's lovely. I totally enjoyed the process of making it. Like I would do another one of these again in a heartbeat because it was just so much fun. I really enjoyed that free form kind of cabling aspect to this. And I adored working with this yarn. This is Cascade 220. You know I love this yarn. And that's part of my hesitation. Like, do I keep this and maybe not wear it? Or do I frog it and then have this yarn back in my stash that I can make something else sometime that I might get more wear out of? I don't know. I'm just going to hang on to it for right now. I'm not going to weave in the ends yet. I don't know. I'm lukewarm about the finished object. I mean, I like it, but I don't love it, you know? And I'm trying to be a little bit more discerning about my knitted objects. But it came together fine. And again, I just love all those cables. They were so much fun to do. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I decide to do with that. But it is a finished object, so anyway. It wouldn't break my heart if I frogged it. Because like I said, I enjoyed the process of this so much. It would be worth it. Like if I was on a deserted island and I had just finished that, I would totally rip it out and use the yarn again. And I'd even knit the same thing again. Because it's just so much fun. All right, so that was my other project. I used US needles for that, and the Cascade 220 was the Mallard colorway. It was left over from my Arboreal pullover or cardigan that I made a couple years ago. The only other finished item, which isn't a finished project, it's just a little swatch here, is a piece of mosaic knitting that I did as part of a class I took. I think maybe I told you about it in the last podcast. I think it was actually happening like the next day or it was happening soon after I recorded. I took a class on mosaic knitting by Franklin Habit as part of the Vogue Knitting Virtual for November. It was a really good class. He's an excellent teacher. I'd never had a course by him before, so I really enjoyed that. He's such a lovely personality. Anyway, it was just fun. I've never done a lot of mosaic knitting, and so it was really interesting to see how it changes. I think this was the bottom. How this motif changes depending on how you do it. If you do it all in garter stitch, this is what it looks like. And then I switched and I was doing it all in stockinette, and that's what it looked like. And then here I was doing the gray in stockinette and this blue in garter. And I did that, and then I never got around to switching it the other way. But the motif can just look so much different depending on how you choose to do it. So I thought that was great fun, and now I need to find myself a mosaic pattern to play with and try knitting. So I have a few that I've been looking at. I just haven't started anything yet. So that was fun. The registration for the December virtual Vogue Knitting live classes opened up today at noon, and I jumped on it right at noon because there's one class I've been trying to get into the last couple of months, and I keep getting there too late. It sells out. It's called Boob Camp. I can't remember the name of the instructor, but it's about doing ways to make modifications in sweaters for larger busts. So I'm really excited. I got into that. I also signed up for another Franklin Habit class, this time on Intarsia. Intarsia? Yeah, Intarsia. I've never, I won't say I've never done intarsia, but I've not done much of it, and it's been a very long time since I did any. So I'm intrigued about that because I think I told you I've been watching a lot of Arnie and Carlos videos, and a lot of their designs include a lot of intarsia, and so I'm curious about it because some of their designs are really cool and I'd like to try them, but I need to get a good handle on intarsia before I embark. So we'll see how that goes. And then I also signed up for a Franklin Habit lecture that he's doing on, I don't remember the title of it. It was just like weird, mysterious things that people knitted through history that were kind of questionable. So it sounded interesting. But anyway, that's it for finished objects. I have 2 projects that I'm working on that I'm going to show you. The first one is a pair of socks, and this was my sample of Sugarplummed that you would have seen in the last episode. I decided to, sometimes when I do samples for colorways, I just do a bit and then, bind it off, and that's just a sample. But this one I decided to continue, and I'm going to do it as a sock. I'm ready to start the toe on this, and then I'll do an afterthought heel. But I wanted to do it in a contrasting, I wanted to do it in the Merlot colorway. This isn't actually Merlot. This is kind of a modified Merlot. And so I tried dyeing up a mini in a darker version that would go with it. I still don't think I completely nailed it, but it'll be fine. It'll work. So I have that mini I need to wind up because here was the other one. I had another one on hand, and it's definitely a little lighter. This is more of the regular Merlot colorway though. So anyway, yeah. So this has just been my vanilla knitting at the table for the most part. Just needs its toe, then I'll move on to the second sock, and then I'll do the afterthought heels together once I have them both done. Again, this is not anything that I'm rushing to get done. It's just my on the go kind of knitting. That's my Bounce base, Sugarplummed colorway, plain vanilla sock with an afterthought heel. And I cut in my afterthought heels. I don't put in waste yarn. So, okay. The only other project I've really been working on that I'm going to show you today is my Weekender-ish sweater. I went over all of my things that I was changing and my hesitation about the yarn and the pattern and how they work together. I went over all of that last week, so I'm not going to go through that all again. But I will show you the progress I've made, and I have come quite a ways. I don't remember how far I was last time. I think, had I started the second half? So I'm doing this in pieces. I'm doing a front and a back, and I'm going to seam them together instead of doing them in the round and then splitting for the top and the top of the front and the top of the back. So here is, let's see. This was the second one. So I don't know which one's going to be the front and the back at this point. In fact, they're probably going to be interchangeable because I'm not doing any shaping. So this is the first piece. So you see my ribbing down at the bottom, which I did much deeper than the pattern called for. It's about 4.5 inches of ribbing down here. This will be a split hem. And then what I did do, I take that back. I did do a little bit of shaping. I have to find my marker. Right about here. Where is it? Oh gosh. I did decrease. Like I did the amount that I want to be the body length up to my armhole. And then I decreased to get down to the stitches that I would have for the next size smaller. And I just did that every other row. I think it took me 6 rows back and forth. So I was decreasing on the I was decreasing on the wrong side because the stockinette side is actually the wrong side of the sweater. So I was decreasing on the stockinette side. There, that's better. There's that slip stitch motif in the sweater. And then just purling back straight. And then, so I did that 6 times to get down, and then I just continued working straight. So essentially this top part will just be narrower than the bottom part, but there won't be any actual shaping for the armhole or the shoulders per se. I mean, it sort of works out like there is, but actually that area, that brief 12 row area that I did those decreases, I'm going to seam that as part of the side seam. I know that might sound weird because you would think I would use that more as the armhole decrease, but I'm not trying to do an armhole decrease. I don't know how it's going to turn out, and I may just sort of whip stitch it together at first to baste it sort of and see what it looks like. And if it looks too weird, then I'll rethink that. But at that point, then it'll make my armholes really deep because I've already done the ribbing across the top. I don't know. I may end up having to rip things out. That wouldn't be anything new on this project because I've ripped so much out of this project. But anyway, so I did that. So here's my marker for that. So this is where I will start. Yeah, you can kind of, can you? I don't know. Yeah, because here it is. So from here to that marker is where I decreased. And then from there up, it's straight. So I've got about, I think, 8.5 inches from where I finished doing those decreases up to the very end. And at about the 7-inch mark, I started doing the 1x1 ribbing that goes across the top of the weekender. Part of it becomes the neck opening, and the other part gets 3-needle bind off to be your shoulder seams. Now the thing I didn't do, okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Here's the 1/2, okay? It is basically done. It's ready for its 3-needle bind off part. And then here's this other half, which was originally the first half I started doing, but then I jumped to this one to get it to a certain point. So now I'm back on this one. So here is that half, and I'm ready. I think I'm ready to start the ribbing on this half. I haven't started the ribbing yet at the top. I just love how it's turning out. I do love the colors, and each half looks so different. It's definitely going to be long. I purposely want it to be long. So if you, here, I'll stand up and try to show you how long this is going to end up being. So this is the top part now. And here is where my armhole will be. And here is, I have to keep going backwards. Here is, yeah, like my tights there, they're crazy. So it comes down almost, not quite to my fingertips, probably to the middle of my fingers. So it's going to be nice and long, and I wanted it that way because I want it to be able to be worn over tights and things like that. And now I'm sitting on my shawl. Whatever. And there's a call incoming. Hopefully it's not messing up with the sound or anything. I'm ignoring it. It was a spam call anyway. Okay, so this half's done. I have to do the ribbing on this half, and then I need to put it together. Now, the thing that I didn't do that the pattern actually said to do, and the reason I didn't do it was because I hadn't read that part of the pattern. I just didn't because I'm lazy. Before you start the ribbing, you're supposed to actually start doing some shoulder shaping. There's short row shoulder shaping involved. So that makes the top of the sweater, instead of just being straight across the way mine's going to be, it would be straight here, but then have some angling to accommodate the shape of your shoulders, I suppose. Even though it's a drop shoulder design, I don't know. I think basically this just means I'm going to have a little more fabric, a little more boxiness up here. I'm not super worried about it though, because this is a very, very drapey fabric that I'm getting. And I think it's just going to kind of lay, you know. I don't think it's going to, like, it's not going to stand out straight. So I'm not really too worried about it. I think if anything, it's going to give me maybe a little extra blousiness, like up through here. But even, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not ripping that back for that purpose. I'm okay with this. So anyway, I'm making great progress. I'm really, really happy with this now. Now that I've come to terms with the yarn issues and, you know, I've gotten it going the way I want it, and it's actually getting a little too large for my bag at this point, but I'm going to stuff it in here nonetheless. Who knows, it could possibly be finished by the next time you see it. I'd love it if it was finished because I would actually like to be wearing it. And I would like to cast on a different sweater. So that is done. Or it's not done. It's on its way. It's making good progress. I'm very happy with where it's at right now. So that's everything that I worked on for the most part. I have one other project that I've been working a little bit on, but it's another sample, a colorway sample that will eventually be a sock for me, but it's not going out until the first shop update in December. So I will show it to you in my next podcast because I'll definitely have another episode up before that shop update. I should. You'll see it eventually. Anyway, let's see, what else? Anything else going on? Not really. That's everything I worked on. I haven't done any spinning. I haven't done any weaving. Yeah, just knitting. Knitting and working, dyeing yarn. The last thing I was just going to mention is 20 and 20 is wrapping up next month. This has been our year-long, very loosey-goosey kind of knit-along where you guys were choosing, 20 yarns you wanted to use, 20 projects you wanted to make, 20 fibers you wanted to spin, whatever. I was really open. It was very open. You could make it what you really wanted it to be. You could put all those projects in one list of 20. You could go over 20. It didn't matter. It was just sort of a way to motivate you to try to focus on certain projects that you wanted to do. I had lists. My fiber list went out the window very early when my husband took over the room that I spin in. I have knit with several of my yarns. I have worked on several of my projects. Have I done 20 of anything? No, I haven't. And I probably won't. But it's okay because it was more just meant to encourage me to think about these things a little more critically. So, yeah, it's good. I'm a little stuck on what I want to do next year with you guys. What I want to offer you as far as a program or a knit along. I personally, in my brain space, I'm at the point where I need to get away from doing year-long programs next year. As much as I love running 20 and 20 and even monthly makes, I'm overwhelmed with them. I can't, because I've not been able to keep up with interacting with you guys, and that bothers me since I'm the one hosting them and I want to be able to interact, and I haven't been able to because I've just not, because 2020 and my brain and my energy level, I've been very bad at keeping up. And so I don't want that to happen again. And I think I've been doing year-long things for the past several years now, and I think it's time to change things up. So I would like some input from you guys, actually. What would you like to see as far as programs in the fibernymph dye works group? And I'm not talking about like the ones that you have to use fibernymph dye works yarn for. I'm talking about the ones that I run through the podcast more so than through the shop segment. What do you enjoy? I used to do short monthly kind of knit alongs or month-long or 2-month-long around certain types of projects or certain types of yarn or things like that were more focused. I don't know if that I'm feeling so inclined to do them. I really like things that are kind of loose and open and let you do what you want to do, but have some sort of an overarching theme that we can all come together on. You know what I mean? Like currently Carol from A Stitch in Time, she's running her gift along. That's a make along, and that's very open. It can be a gift for somebody else, it can be a gift for yourself, it can be any kind of making, it doesn't have to be knitting. I like that. It has that nice overarching theme, but it's open enough to fit what you want to do. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, those kinds of alongs. What do you think though? I mean, I know I've heard from people in the past who they also get overwhelmed when things run too long or there's too many requirements. So I would love to take your feelings and thoughts into consideration as I do plan for next year and what we're going to do in the group. Because I do want to find things that will help keep that sense of community going. The 20 and 20 group this year has been great. You guys have been very chatty with each other and encouraging, and I've loved that. Even if I haven't been in there as much as I wish I would have been, I've really enjoyed seeing that and reading everybody's stuff, because I do read it. I don't always have the chance to comment or the brain space to comment. And I'm sorry if that sounds weird, but it's just the truth. Yeah, I would just love to have some feedback. Please comment in the YouTube comments or in the group on Ravelry. You can comment there too. Just let me know what your thoughts are. What would you like to see? What would you be most interested in participating in next year? And I will take that into consideration and let you know where I land on that in one of the remaining podcasts of this year before next year starts. Okay, so let's move on now to 10%, even though I feel like I've kind of covered some 10% stuff already, maybe. I already told you about how our Thanksgiving is going to be working this week. It's going to be small, going to be quiet. Did I tell you, or did I already tell you that in like one of the ones that I started recording? I don't know. It's just me, Emma, and Bill. Small dinner. We're doing it Wednesday instead of Thursday because she has to work. No turkey. Tofurkey, yes. Turkey, no. There will be chicken for Bill. There will be cheesecake. Yeah, that's going to be our meal. Other than that, Emma and I did start to decorate. We got the tree out. It just has lights and the little beaded garland stuff on it right now because we're waiting to see how cats interact. So far, Tippy, as predicted, was the only one who has shown interest in it. She has tried eating things like a light and the green stuff on the fake pine stuff. I had to chase her away from it. She was thinking about trying to climb it earlier today. So I don't know how this is going to go. We have to add some more lights to it though, because we put it up and put the lights on. We're like, wow, that's not very many lights. And I remember last year I did have to cut the lights off that the tree had come with. It was a pre-lit tree and most of them had died by last year. So I cut all those lights off and we went out and bought another strand of lights, and I thought it was a long strand. I thought, oh, that'll be plenty of lights, and it really wasn't. And I guess I thought I would remember that fact and get more lights before we did the tree this year, but I didn't. And so it's a little sad. But Emma picked up lights the other day when she was out, and we need to put those on. And we've got colored lights too that we're gonna wind all across. We live in a log home, and there's a beam that runs from the back to the front of the house. It's like a main supportive beam. And we're gonna wrap colored lights the whole way along there. And then I think we're gonna hang ornaments from there because the cats can't get up there. So we will circumvent cat nonsense, cat shenanigans that way. We'll see. I will show you pictures at some point. Anyway, so that, and we got out the holiday mugs. I love getting the holiday mugs out as much as I love decorating. Our holiday mugs make me so happy. So we're using our holiday mugs. I could not find my Christmas tree skirt. I handmade my Christmas tree skirt the year I moved up here. Couldn't find it. Finally found it after days of searching, going through every closet, every possible spot that it could be, because it wasn't in the box with the Christmas stuff. It was in a bag, because there's this shelf up here above these French doors. I've shown it to you in past years that I usually decorate for Christmas, and it's a fake garland, and I put these spiky balls that my mom made when I was a kid. They're all sparkly. I put those up there. Well, last year when I was undecorating, that must have been one of the last things I did, because the Christmas tree skirt always needs to be washed, so it ends up getting put away last as well. And I put that in the bag with the garland for up here. Well, I didn't get that bag out this year because I'm not decorating in here. Bill's in here. I'm not decorating. He doesn't care if that's decorated. He could care less if we put the tree up, quite frankly. So anyway, I just didn't get that bag out. So when I had exhausted all other possibilities, I finally went back up to the attic, and I'm going through stuff, and I looked in that bag, and lo and behold, there was the tree skirt. Crazy. So I was glad I found it, because I was thinking, I have to make another tree skirt now. But I don't. So anyway, yeah, did that. That's pretty much it right now. I feel like the light has really changed a little bit. Anyway, I think that's all for 10%. Let's go into shop news real quick. I told you at the top of the show what's going on as far as this holiday week. So beginning on Friday through Monday. Shipping, US shipping is going to be free no matter what the total of your order. So all US shipping will be free those 4 days. On Saturday, I'm doing my Shop Small sale, so use the coupon code SHOPSMALL20 all day Saturday, so the 24-hour sale there, for anything in stock. So that won't include anything that has, you know, pre-order stuff, die to order, and it doesn't include gift certificates. My sales never include gift certificates, frankly, unless it's specifically a gift certificate sale, which I have not yet done. But anyway, that coupon code is good on everything else. Anything in stock you can take 20% off of, and I hope you'll enjoy that. Then on Monday, I will be doing some Cyber Monday specials, and I will be sending out a newsletter specifically about that on Sunday. So if you aren't already signed up for my newsletter, please go to the website, fibernymphdyworks.com. There's a link at the top in the menu bar for the newsletter. Just click that, and you can sign up for the newsletter, and then you'll be alerted to what those Cyber Monday specials will be. What else? I think that's it for the holiday week. I'm sure you have a lot of other shopping you're going to be doing as well. So if you find your way over to my shop, hopefully you can take advantage of one of those 3 things. I do have my next shop update is planned for December 5th, which will be a Saturday update at 10 a.m. Eastern. I will be doing some restocks of things that I already had up in last update, especially Sugarplummed. There will be more Sugarplummed. I'm going to be releasing a couple of colorways that were previously exclusives, either to a club or to another, you know, thing that I had done an exclusive colorway for. So I've got 2 of those coming out in that update, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be doing some more winter colorways, or not new ones, but ones you've seen before, but I'll have those in the shop. Possibly more colorways for the holidays. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if it's too close or not. But I may put a few up in small batches, and I will have more fiber up too. I did put fiber up this last update at many people's requests, so there's fiber up there. Yeah, so that will be the December 5th update. Then December 16th will be my last regular update for 2020. But I will let you know about the content of that update a little closer to then. I'm going to go. I'm going to get this edited and hopefully uploaded. If not today, then by tomorrow morning. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And if you are here in the U.S. and you're celebrating, you know, the holiday weekend, please have a wonderful time. Please be safe. You know, the health stuff right now, pandemic, is nothing to laugh at. You know, it's nothing to take lightly. I keep hearing about more and more people being affected by it physically. I'm just, I'm holding my breath, not literally, although maybe I should, to just wait and see how this is going to play out this winter, you know. I will say, yesterday when I was out running errands and I had my mask on, I thought, you know what? A perk to wearing a mask in this kind of weather is it keeps your face warm. So wear your mask, stay warm. Stay safe, guys. I will talk to you again in early December. Bye.